Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Madeline, aka Maddie. Some people also know me as Hair by Maddie. I feel like I have too many names. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. If you're an old subscriber, welcome. Also, don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that when I do post, you guys will be able to see it right away and not have to wait like a lifetime. So today's video, we are going to be talking about pardon. I get a lot of questions where people are like, can you do a video on how to part for sorry guys, I lost my train of thought. Can you do a video on how to part for big braids, small braids, medium braids? And I'm like, no, I can't. And that's the honest truth. Like, no, I don't think nobody can teach you how to part. Like, it's something that you have to work on. It's something that you have to like practice, because I can teach you how to part for medium braids on my head or on your head, but if this is something that you're going to be doing, you never know the client that you're gonna get. You never know the type of hair or head they're going to have. Like, you don't know if they have a head full of hair, or if they're like they have thin hair, or if they're bald headed. Like, you never know the type of client you are going to get. It's like, if this is something that you want to do as a business or whatever you want to call it, no one can teach you how to part. I can tell you what to look out for. I can share some tips with you, but I can never teach you, like, it's not a one-way thing. Like, there are different methods, there are different technique. What might work for my head might not work for somebody else's head. So when I get these questions and I don't respond, I feel like you guys think, maybe she's being mean, but I'm not. And in my last video, I told you guys that I was not going to be braiding on, like doing videos with my clients, showing their braids, because some of the comments were rude or were mean, and the clients were offended by it, and that I was going to be doing it on a mannequin. And someone was like, oh, then just turn off your comments. I don't feel like that's the right thing to do, because if I turn off my comment, then I will not be able to see your questions, or if somebody have questions, they will not be able to ask me. That's why I leave my comments open, so that you guys can interact with me. So again, today we are talking about parting. Before I get into that, I want to let you guys know that you have to tell me what type of braids you want to see. Like, I'm not just gonna, I don't know, like, let me know in the comments, hey Maddie, can you do braids, these type of braids, passion twist, Senegalese twist, kinky twist, whatever twist, locks, whatever. Like, you have to interact with me. You have to let me know, so that I know what to do, because it's not easy braiding. So I want to make sure that whatever I'm putting out there, or whatever I'm teaching, is something that you guys want to learn. So I hope that makes sense. Feel free to communicate with me. Like, you guys have to understand that I don't just do this for the money, although the money is good, child, but I don't do it just for the money. Like, I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do, and I like to share what I do. So you have to let me know the type of videos you want to see. And girl, your face is lit. I'm so smooth, girl. Anyways, so yeah, talking about parting, like I said before, I'm gonna try to stop saying but everybody's head is different. You feel me? Like, I have a big head and a lot of hair. So how I will part my hair for braids, I cannot do that for somebody who has a small head and not as much hair as I do. If I part their hair like I will part mine, their hair will end up being spacious, and because they don't have enough hair to fill in the braids. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. So for me, like, if I was to be doing box braids, like my braids that I just did, the middle, like, the parts are huge, but if I turn around, you don't see spaces. And you don't see spaces because I have so much hair that the braids it fill itself up, and like, it falls into place, and it's a lot. But if I did the same thing for somebody who had a smaller head or even a big head but don't have that much hair, it will not be full, and you know, you would see spaces and all that. Granted, some people like their braids not to look full. I love for my braids to be like full, but some people like for their braids not to look full, and they like to see the parts and stuff like that. That's also a style that people like. Maybe one day I'll do that for myself, but I'm so used to having a lot of hair that I don't know if I ever will. So like I was saying, it differs. It differs from people to people. Also, one thing you want to know about parting is that for me, I work with two different methods. I have one where the back or like the middle will be a little bigger. The parts not too big like they do in the salons, but it will be a little bigger, and then the perimeters of the hair will be fuller, you know, like smaller, so that it looks full, and that when the client puts it up, you know, you don't see any, you know, scalp, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. And then there's the other technique that I like to part the same all the way around. Nothing is big, nothing is small. I like to just keep all the parts the same. I do that for clients who will tend to leave their hair down a lot, or like they don't want it to be too full, or you know, like that's just the style they want. And then for a client with a lot of hair, I cannot do that method because then they end up having too much hair on their head, and it's heavy and it's weighing them down, and they don't know how to sleep, they can't take a bath. What are they gonna do? So for clients like that, like myself, I like to do the middle a little bit bigger. The parts in the middle are a little bit big, and then the parts around the front are a little bit smaller, so that it looks full when I put it up, and it also looks full when I put it down because the braids in the front will fall. You know, I hope what I'm saying makes sense. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is also, you guys always ask me, how much hair did you use? Like, how big was the hair you used? How I can't, even if I told you how big it was, or if I showed you, it might not work for you because, again, different head sizes, different amount of hair, different everything. But one thing that I will tell you when you are braiding and you are, you know, taking your hair is, you know what, let me go get, you know, some hair so I can demonstrate to you guys. Okay, so I am back with the hair, and this is what I was trying to tell you guys. So if I am not doing the part the same for the whole head, and I am doing the middle big and the perimeter smaller, the part that the amount of hair I will use for the front is not going to be the same amount that I will use for the middle. Reason being that the middle parts are big, meaning there's more hair, like the parts has more hair. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. It's very hard to explain. But that means that the parts in the middle, you know what? Let me get my mannequin, okay? So everybody say hi to my mannequin. I got her off of Amazon. She has natural hair. I felt like it would be a good, you know, mannequin to teach you guys with instead of getting the one with the straight hair. I like this mannequin because it came with like the hair that's already parted. I thought that was so cool. Like they have it already parted. So since her hair is already parted, I'm just going to take one of them. If this is the amount of hair that I am using for the middle, if this is the amount of hair that's going to be per part, I hope that makes sense. If this is what I have, that means the braiding hair that I am going to use for the middle is going to have to be a little smaller than what I am going to use for the front. Because if this is the part that I have for the middle, and then this is what I'm using for the front, I cannot have the same amount of hair that I use for the middle for the front, because the hair in the front is smaller, is thinner than what's in the middle. If I use the same amount of hair that I use for the front and the middle, then I'm going to have a much bigger braid in the middle than I would have in the front. The goal is to make sure that your braids look identical. They look the same. Sorry, they're not gonna look identical, but nobody should be able to tell, like, nobody should be able to say, oh, this braid is bigger than this. Like, they need to look as close to each other as possible. You cannot have jumbos mixed in with mediums and small. No, it doesn't work like that. So because this is really small, the part in the front is small, and then the one in the middle is big, I'm going to have to use less hair in the middle and more in the front to kind of make it even. So I'm going to go ahead and braid it with the same amount of hair that I will use for the middle. I'm going to use the same amount for the front so that you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about. This is the amount of hair that I am going to be using for the front, okay? So this is the amount of hair I'm going to be using for the front. I'm going to go ahead after I'm done with the front and use the same amount for the middle part. Okay, so I know this is not a perfect braid. I mean, it's just for, you know, practicing purposes. So this is the smaller part that I have, and this is the braid that would be in the front. I'm going to go ahead and do the middle part right here so they can lay next to each other, and you guys will be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. So this is the smaller braid, the smaller part, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and do the middle part again right next to it so that you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about. So again, I am taking the same amount of hair that I used for the braid that would be in the front, and I'm going to use that for the braid that would have been in the back or in the middle. So it's the same amount of hair. I haven't added to it. I haven't done nothing. Same amount. I'm going to use that to do the middle so you guys will see what I am talking about. Okay, let me even take a little bit off. I think this one was a little bit bigger. Okay guys, so this is what I was talking about. You notice that the part right here is bigger than the part over here. So, but I used the same amount of hair for each braid. I think this might have been a little bit, like just a tiny bit bigger. But it's almost the same amount of hair. You notice that this braid is chunkier than this one because this part is double the size of this one. So if I am going to want to have the same sizes of braids, I would have to make this braid or this hair a little smaller, not even a little. I would have to make this hair a little smaller than this one because this part is bigger than this one. I hope what I'm saying makes sense and you guys understand it. But then you notice that as I go past the client's hair, the braids are almost the same. They're actually the same size. Like I said, this one might have been just a little bit bigger. But the braids are the same size as I go past the client's hair. But at the top where the client's hair is at, I have a chunky braid here and then a smaller braid here. This is something that you don't want. Because then what ends up happening is that you have two different sizes of braids in your client's hair. She got a medium going on and then a small. Not cool. So like I said, you always want to make sure that the amount of braided hair you use for the middle or the back is always smaller than what you are going to use for the front, if your parts are not going to be the same. If you are making all the parts the same like this, then you would use this size or this amount of hair. So always make sure, I keep repeating it because I want to make sure that you guys get it. The hair in the front, the braided hair you use for the front is not going to be the same you use for the back or the middle. I'm not saying that do some doodle chunky braids in the middle of your client's head and then small. No, I'm not saying that. Please don't do that. I hate that. Just, what am I saying? Like I've seen braids where like the middle is triple the size of the front. No. So then when your client put her braids down, you just see like these, it's so disgusting looking to me. Yes, they're supposed to be bigger, but not too big to the point that like we can notice it and we're wondering like what the hell is going on. Excuse my language. I hope that I have explained to you guys enough, or like you guys understand what I am saying. If I left anything out, please, 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 please let me know. I also want you guys to know that not everything is going to be like hands-on showing. Sometimes we have to talk. Like sometimes we have to explain things because certain things I can explain to you by talking to you. I cannot explain to you if I'm doing on the mannequin. It just doesn't make sense. It's like when you go to cosmetology school, they start you off with like knowledge. They give you your books, they talk to you, they explain things before they move you onto like the hands-on. So I can sit here and practice and put clients' work and do all this You're not going to get it if I have not explained to you my technique or my method. I know that my technique and my method might not work for everyone. That's perfectly fine. But if it does work for you, great. If it doesn't, great. So like for me, my sizes are different from the average British sizes. Like what they will consider small is not my small. What they will consider medium is my small. Like it's weird because for me, I feel like braids are supposed to be a protective style. Like there's no way that your braids should be like literally so close to each other that we don't even see a scalp. Like that's freaking crazy. That's my opinion though. Like I think that's insane that your braids are like literally laying on top of each other. Like they literally take one string of hair like this and braid it and no. I'm sorry. Like that for me that's a no-no. Let me put some chapstick on because my lips was just girl. Like I was saying, for me that's a no. That's just it's crazy. It's ridiculous. I know that people are like, well, nothing happens to my hair. My hair didn't fall out. Like my hair is still fine. No. Yeah, the first time your hair was still fine. The second time your hair was still fine. But as you keep doing it, you're weakening your hair follicles and you're going to end up with like breakage and the next thing you know, your edges are like back here. And you're going to be like, oh my God, what happened? And then you're probably going to blame it on your last braids, but it wasn't. It's what you've been doing up to that point. Like, you cannot do that to your hair. What is wrong with y'all? Like, I be seeing these and I'm like, Jesus, like, how are you living? Yes, you want it full. We get it. Yes, you don't want a lot of scalp showing. We get it. But it should not be that close to each other. Like, that's sick. And it's your front of your hair. The perimeter of your hair is always weaker than what's in the middle. It's not as strong. Okay, that's when you're relaxing your hair, they always tell you start in the middle, the back, and then you move to the front because your middle is more stronger, it's thicker, and you know it's healthier, to be honest with you. So they always tell you start in the middle and then you work your way around. If you start in the back, the front, and then the middle, what ends up happening is like it starts breaking. When I used to relax my hair first, I used to do it in the back, and I noticed that the back of my hair was always short, and I didn't understand why. Like it was always breaking, and that's because it's not as strong as the middle. I don't understand how like you can sit there and really take a strand, one strand of hair and braid it this thick. No. The braided hair is weighing on your hair and eventually it's going to fall out. It's going to break. Something is going to happen. Your edges are going to start going back. Your hair is going to start getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And then you're going to be bald-headed. Like, anyways, if it works for you, kudos. It doesn't work for me. So my sizes are always different. My sizes are always different. I don't like gripping people's. My braids might look like it's tight, but trust me, it's not. Because I'm tender-headed. So I can imagine how y'all feel sitting there having people like play in your hair like that. It's crazy to me, but hey, whatever. My sizes are different. I feel like scalp needs to show so that you will be able to moisturize and grease your hair. People put braids in their hair and they're like, oh, I have braids in my hair, so that's it. No, you still have to keep up with your scalp. You still have to moisturize. You still have to do all that because especially if your braids are tight and you don't moisturize and that it dries up, it starts to pop. Your hair starts to pop. And that's how you see all those white, not like when you have braids and then you start seeing all those white like the follicles. That's what it is. Your scalp is dry. Grease it. Put some oil on it. Let it moisturize. Let it marinate. Come on, man. Do something. That's why your hair is breaking off. Always, and I always tell my client every time when I'm done with you and you're ready to go, I'm like, please, especially like in the beginning, make sure you're moisturizing your hair at least once a day. Don't go without moisturizing because it's gonna start popping, and that's how you end up with all those breakage. I mean, it's normal that your hair breaks a little bit, you shed a little, but it shouldn't be to the extent that like it's no. So always moisturize your hair. Always make sure it's moisturized. Always make sure it's moisturized when you have braids. When you do have braids, you do have to moisturize your hair. Having braids doesn't exempt you from moisturizing your hair or taking care of your hair. You still need to do all that. So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I hope that somebody learned something. I wanted to talk to you guys and explain things to you guys before we went into actually braiding. Again, let me know the type of braids you want me to do. Let me know what you want me to show you. Just let me know, and if I can do it, I will do it. If I can't do it, I will let you guys know, hey, I can't do it, or I will go learn it and then come teach it to you guys. I don't have a problem with that. So that's enough talking. Thank you guys so much for watching, for supporting. Please don't just watch my braiding or my hair tutorials. Watch my makeup tutorials too. I beg, help a sister grow. Help me. Help me help you. This is how I feed my family, But anyways, yes, thank you guys so much for supporting. Subscribe, share, comment, all the good stuff. And I will see you in my next tutorial again. Let me know what type of videos you want to see, and I will deliver. If you don't let me know, then I don't know, then I don't do it. And if I don't do it, then you don't get to see it and you don't get to learn it. So please let me know again, guys. This is my full-time job, so I have the time now. So just let me know, and I will be posting a lot more often. I'll be posting a lot of makeup videos also, because I'm also trying to grow in that department. So please support your girl. Like, sometimes I'll post a braiding video and that job will get like 30K views. And then I post a makeup video and it's like 100. Come on. Come on. I know y'all saw it. Just watch it. If you're not going to watch it, just let it play. Pretend like you're watching it. Yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for the support. I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe. Let me know what you think. Communicate with your girl in the comment section. What else? Oh, don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that when I do post, you guys will be able to see it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I will see you in my next video.